The stars were quiet that night and space looked peaceful, but something was wrong. A human rescue ship flew fast through the black sky. Its name was Unity 1, and it had received a strange distress signal from a faraway alien planet called Eloria. The message was short, just one sentence repeated over and over again. "Help us. It's not safe." Then silence. No names, no location tags, no further contact. Captain Ray Carter stood on the bridge, his eyes focused on the screen. He was an experienced space officer. He had seen many things: space battles, asteroid storms, dying suns. But this silence, this felt different. Behind him, his team worked quickly. Zara, the pilot, Malik, the medic, Dr. Lin, the scientist, and Corporal Jones, the security officer. They were all ready, but none of them knew what they were stepping into. As the ship entered Eloria's orbit, the first thing they noticed was the lack of communication. The planet didn't respond to their call. No radio, no warning, not even air traffic control. Eloria was known as a peaceful planet filled with intelligent, kind aliens who shared technology with humans. It was a science world, with labs, schools, and nature parks. But now it looked dark from above. Too dark. "Prepare for landing," Captain Ray said. The ship touched down near the main city, where the distress signal came from. The air was breathable, the sky clear, but everything was quiet. Too quiet. The streets were empty. Buildings stood still like broken statues. There were signs of chaos: cars left in the middle of the road, doors open, and strange black stains on the walls. No people, no voices, just wind. As the crew stepped out, they kept their weapons ready. Zara whispered, "Where is everyone?" They moved slowly down the main road. Shops were destroyed. Glass covered the ground. A strange green mist floated, near the ground in some places. Malik bent down and picked up a small toy from the road, a child's toy. It was broken in half, stained with something dark red. He looked around, his stomach twisting. Suddenly, Jones stopped and pointed. "Look there." At the far end of the road, a figure stood. It was an alien man. Tall, thin, with purple skin, normal for Eloria. But something was off. His eyes glowed, bright green. His body moved in a strange, jerky way. He turned his head toward them with a snap. Then he ran, charged toward them like a wild animal. "Back up!" Captain Ray shouted. Jones fired a stun shot, but the alien didn't stop. He jumped high and tackled Jones to the ground. His hands clawed like a beast. His teeth were sharp. It took 3 people to pull him off. Dr. Lin hit him with a strong shock tool, and finally he dropped to the ground, twitching and growling like some kind of animal. Everyone stared at the body. The alien's face still moved slightly, his mouth whispering strange words in a low growl. His eyes remained wide open, glowing green. This isn't normal," Dr. Lin said, scanning the body. "His body is alive, but his mind, it's gone." "Is this a virus?" Malik asked. Dr. Lin shook her head slowly. "I don't know, but we shouldn't stay in the open." They found a nearby building, an old school, and entered. The place was half destroyed. Tables were broken, walls had strange symbols drawn in blood. They closed the doors and turned on their lights. On one wall, someone had written a message. In alien language, Dr. Lin translated it slowly. It says, "We tried to stop it, it changed them, we failed, we are sorry." Zara looked at her team. What could do this? Turn peaceful beings into monsters? Ray stared out the window. We need answers, and we need to stay alive. That night, strange sounds echoed through the city. Screams, growls, heavy footsteps. The crew watched from inside the building as shadowy figures walked through the streets, dozens of them. Some ran, some crawled. All of them had the same glowing eyes and jerky movements. It was like watching a nightmare. The next morning, they moved to a nearby lab building hoping to find data. Inside, the computers were still running. Dr. Lin quickly connected to the system and opened the last files left by the alien scientists. There were video logs, broken, static-filled, but enough to understand the truth. The alien scientists had been working on a rare parasite found deep inside Eloria's oceans. They thought it could heal diseases, even extend life. But something went wrong. The parasite mutated. It started infecting the brain. At first, it made people smarter. Then, it broke their minds. They tried to hide it, Dr. Lin said. They didn't call for help. They wanted to fix it quietly. They waited too long, Captain Ray added. Now the whole city's gone. The last video showed an alien scientist with green eyes. He stared into the camera, breathing hard, and whispered, "It's not a virus, it's alive and it's learning." Then the screen went black. For a moment, nobody said anything. Ray finally spoke. "This isn't just an outbreak. This is something worse. And we may be the only ones who can stop it." Suddenly, loud banging came from the hallway. The door shook as heavy bodies slammed against it. The team backed away, weapons ready. Zara whispered, "They found us." Captain Ray took a deep breath and raised his weapon. "We hold the line, no matter what." The lights flickered, the growling outside grew louder, and then the door broke open. The door crashed open with a loud bang. Broken pieces of metal flew into the room. The infected aliens rushed in with glowing green eyes and sharp teeth. They moved fast, too fast. Their bodies were twisted and strong like monsters. "Captain," Ray shouted, "fall back! Shoot if you have to!" Corporal Jones opened fire first. His shots hit the lead creature in the chest, but it kept running. Dr. Lin grabbed a metal rod and swung it at another one that came too close. Zara pulled Malik back as more of them pushed through the door. It was chaos, screaming, fighting, blood. One infected alien jumped toward Dr. Lin, its claws reaching for her face. At the last second, Ray tackled it and shot it in the head. This time, it stopped moving. Ray looked around. "Headshots," he said, breathing hard. "That's the only way to kill them." The team escaped through a back hallway, running fast as more of the creatures poured into the building. Behind them, the lab filled with howls and crashing sounds. Zara led them through a dark tunnel that connected to another part of the city. The tunnel was cold and wet, but safe, for now. They stopped to catch their breath. Everyone was tired. Jones had a deep cut on his shoulder. Malik worked quickly to stop the bleeding. Dr. Lin sat on the floor looking shaken. They were people, and now they're like wild animals. Ray nodded. "They're not just sick. They're controlled." "By what?" Zara asked. "That parasite," Dr. Lin replied. "It's not just hurting them, it's using them." Malik looked up. "So it's like a hive mind?" "Yes," Dr. Lin said. "And it's growing smarter." Ray stood up. "Then we have to move before it learns where we're going." The team followed the tunnel to a small exit near the old science district. This area had more labs and hospitals. If any place had answers, it was here. But the streets were no better. They saw more destruction. Broken walls, crashed cars, and alien bodies lying in the open. Some were dead. Some were not. One alien body moved slightly as they walked past. Its eyes opened, green and glowing. It let out a soft growl, but it was too weak to stand. Ray raised his weapon, but Dr. Lin stopped him. "Wait, I want to check something." She scanned the alien with a small medical device. "This one's infection is slow. It's not fully turned." Jones kept his weapon ready. "Are you saying some of them can fight it?" Dr. Lin nodded slowly. "Maybe. If we understand why, we can find a way to stop this." They took shelter in an old medical lab. The front doors were broken, but the inside was mostly untouched. The power was still on. Computers still worked. Dr. Lin quickly searched for files. Malik found supplies. Jones stood guard near the door with Zara. As Dr. Lin worked, she found something strange in the records. The parasite was not native to Eloria. It came from another planet deep in space. The alien scientists had brought it here for testing. They thought it could be useful. Instead, it escaped. They didn't create it, she said softly. They stole it. From somewhere else. Ray looked at the screen. So this thing is older than we thought? Yes, Dr. Lin said. And I think it has seen humans before. Everyone turned to her, confused. The parasite doesn't work the same on humans, she continued. We get sick, yes, but we don't turn. Not like the aliens. Zara frowned. Why? Dr. Lin opened a DNA scan. Because our bodies recognize part of it like we've seen it before. It matches something from old Earth viruses, something from thousands of years ago. Malik stepped forward. You're saying Earth already fought this in the past? Maybe not the same version, Dr. Lin said. But something similar. Our immune systems remember. Ray took a deep breath. So we might be the only ones who can survive it, or stop it. Suddenly the building lights flickered. A strange hum came from the floor. Jones looked around. That's not power failure, something's here. They moved quickly, grabbing supplies and heading to the roof. From above, they saw a large group of infected moving through the streets. Hundreds of them, all heading toward the lab. Some crawled on walls, some climbed over cars, their eyes glowed brighter than before. They know we're here, Zara said. They're learning faster, Ray replied. Dr. Lin turned to the group. We can't run forever. We need a way to fight back, Ray nodded. Then let's find the original lab, the one where this started. Maybe there's a cure, or something we can use. Do we even know where that lab is? Jones asked. Dr. Lin pointed to a map on her screen. Yes, it's on the other side of the city, underground. But we'll have to go through the red zone. The red zone? Malik asked. It's where the outbreak began, she said. The most dangerous place on the planet. Ray looked out at the streets filled with monsters. Then that's where we're going. As the team prepared to move, the infected began climbing the lab walls. Time was running out. Jones threw a flash grenade to slow them down. The crew ran toward the next building, disappearing into the shadows as the monsters screamed behind them. The fight was just beginning. The team moved fast through the empty city, staying in the shadows. The infected were everywhere now, crawling on rooftops, hiding in broken buildings, and patrolling the streets like hunters. It was no longer just an outbreak. It was a full invasion. Captain Ray led the way, checking every corner. Zara followed close, holding her rifle tight. Malik carried a bag filled with medical tools and supplies. Jones stayed behind them, watching their backs. Dr. Lin kept her tablet open, guiding them toward the underground lab, the place where it all began. As they passed an old alien school, they heard a strange sound, like crying. Everyone stopped. Duwa? You hear that? Zara whispered. It's coming from inside, Malik said. Ray raised his hand. Be careful. It could be a trap. They entered slowly. The inside of the school was dark, filled with broken desks and scattered books. The crying grew louder. In a corner of the room, they found a small alien girl. Her skin was pale blue, her eyes wide with fear. She wasn't infected. Not yet. She looked up and whispered, Please, don't let them take me. Malik knelt beside her. It's okay, we're here to help. Dr. Lin scanned her quickly. She's clean, no signs of infection, but she's weak. Can she walk? Ray asked. The girl nodded slowly. We can't leave her here, Zara said. Ray agreed. But we have to move fast. The longer we stay, the more dangerous it gets. The girl held Malik's hand as they left the building. Her name was Lyra. She said her parents were scientists at the underground lab. They tried to stop the infection, but they never came back. I hid in the school, she said. I saw them change. I saw what they became. Ray looked at her gently. Do you know how to reach the lab? She nodded. There's a tunnel behind the Science Museum. It leads underground. That museum was deep in the red zone. The team continued moving, sticking to alleyways and underground service paths. Along the way, they saw signs of recent fighting. Burned buildings, crushed machines, and alien weapons left behind. Something had fought back against the infected, but it had lost. When they finally reached the Science Museum, they saw smoke rising from the roof. The front doors were broken and inside green mist floated in the air. A group of infected was guarding the entrance. They hissed and sniffed the air, their heads twitching from side to side like animals. "We can't fight all of them," Jones whispered. Ray looked around. "We'll create a distraction. Lynn and Malik will take the girl through the side door. Zara and I will draw their attention." Dr. Lynn didn't like it. "It's too risky." Ray gave her a firm look. "We don't have time to argue." They split up. Ray and Zara threw a flash bomb down the street. The loud noise and bright light pulled the infected away from the museum. While the creatures screamed and ran toward the sound, Dr. Lynn, Malik, and Lyra slipped through the side entrance. Inside the museum it was quiet but not safe. Strange markings covered the walls, claw marks, burned symbols. They passed broken display cases showing the history of the parasite, how ancient aliens once fought it and locked it away on a forgotten world. But someone had brought it back, and now it was free again. Behind the museum they found the tunnel door. It was locked with an old alien keypad. Lyra stepped forward and typed a code. The door opened with a heavy groan. "You remember the code?" Malik asked. "My mother taught it to me," she said. "She said to only use it if everything went bad." They entered the tunnel just as the others returned. Ray and Zara had cuts and bruises, but they made it. The door shut behind them, and for a moment they were safe again. The tunnel was long and deep, filled with old machines and strange wires. Lights flickered above them as they walked. Lyra looked nervous. "There's something down here," she whispered. "What do you mean?" Jones asked. "I don't know," she said softly. "I just feel it." The team kept moving. The deeper they went, the warmer it got. The walls began to feel alive, like they were pulsing slightly. Dr. Lynn touched one. It was soft and wet, like skin. "This tunnel. It's infected," she said. "The parasite has reached here too." Finally, they reached the underground lab. It was built like a bunker with thick walls and security doors. But inside, the place was a mess. Papers were everywhere. Bloodstains marked the floor. Computers were broken. And in the center of the lab was a large tank filled with green liquid. Floating inside was the original parasite. It was huge, bigger than a human head. It had no eyes, but it seemed aware. It moved slightly in the liquid as if watching them. "This is it," Dr. Lynn whispered. "The source." Ray stepped forward. "Can we destroy it?" "I don't know yet," she said. "But we need to study it. It's the key to everything." Suddenly the lights in the lab turned red. A deep voice came from the speakers. "You found me." Everyone froze. The voice was not human. It was not alien. It was something else. Cold. Calm. Intelligent. "I've watched you. Learned from you. You are different from the others. You resist me. You fight back. That is interesting." Dr. Lynn looked at the tank. "It's talking to us." "Yes," the voice replied. "And soon, I will learn how to take you too." The doors behind them slammed shut. The lab began to shake. "It's waking up," Ray shouted. "Prepare for battle." The tank cracked. The parasite moved. The fight for survival had truly begun. The glass tank cracked again, louder this time. A green liquid spilled out onto the lab floor. The parasite inside moved slowly, like a giant insect waking from a deep sleep. It had no eyes, no mouth, but it felt alive. Dangerously alive. Everyone stepped back. "It's coming out," Jones shouted, aiming his weapon. "Don't shoot," Dr. Lynn warned. "Not yet." Ray held his gun steady. "If that thing gets loose, it'll infect all of us." The parasite dropped to the floor with a wet sound. It didn't attack. It simply sat there, twitching slowly. But then the red lights in the room changed to blue. The voice returned, calm and terrifying. "You are afraid," it said. "Good. Fear is the first step to control." The team formed a circle, weapons ready. Zara grabbed Lyra and pulled her behind cover. Malik stood beside Dr. Lin, protecting her as she began scanning the creature with her device. "It's adapting," she said. "It's watching us, learning faster than before." The parasite suddenly stretched upward, forming thin tendrils that reached for the computers and wires. It plugged itself in. Within seconds, screens all around the lab flickered to life, showing strange alien code mixed with Earth languages. Ray narrowed his eyes. "It's hacking the system." "No," Dr. Lin whispered. "It's merging with it." Malik looked at her. "What does that mean?" "It's becoming something more," she said. "It's turning the lab into part of itself." Then the voice returned, louder. "I know your strengths now. I know your fears. But I also know your weakness. Hope." The walls began to change. Slimy growth spread across the floor and ceiling. The lab was becoming infected. Machines sparked. Doors locked. The only exit was sealing shut with organic webbing. "We have to destroy it now," Ray shouted. He and Jones opened fire on the parasite. Bullets hit its body, tearing chunks off, but it didn't die. It screamed, a horrible high-pitched sound that made everyone cover their ears. The lights exploded. Sparks flew. The parasite threw out a wave of energy that knocked them all to the floor. When Ray opened his eyes, everything was quiet. The parasite was gone. Dr. Lin sat up, holding her head. "It escaped into the system. It's inside the building now." "You mean like the walls?" Zara asked. "Yes," she replied. "And maybe more." Suddenly, a nearby terminal lit up. A message appeared in glowing red. "You cannot kill what you cannot find." Malik helped Lyra stand. She looked scared, but her voice was calm. "It's scared of you." Ray looked at her. "Why do you say that?" "Because you're human," she said. "You're different. It can't control you." Dr. Lin nodded slowly. "She's right. The parasite copies everything. But it can't copy us completely. Our immune system, our emotions, our teamwork. It doesn't understand those." Stood tall. "Then we'll use that." They moved fast. Dr. Lin downloaded files from the damaged computers. There were records of the first experiments, notes from Lyra's parents, and a file marked Project Echo. She opened it. Her eyes widened. This is it," she said. "A weapon, not a bomb, not a cure, a signal, a sound wave that can break the parasite's control." Zara leaned in. "Does it work?" "It was never tested," Dr. Lin said. "The scientists died before they could finish it. But we can finish it." Malik asked. "What do we need?" "Power. A lot of it. And time." Ray looked around the infected lab. "Then we'll give you both." The group split into two teams. Dr. Lin, Malik, and Lyra would stay in the control room and finish the signal device. Ray, Jones, and Zara would fight their way to the backup generators and turn on full power. The halls were dark and alive. As Ray's team moved forward, the parasite whispered through the walls, "You are wasting time. You will fail. Give up." They ignored it. At the same time, in the control room, Dr. Lin worked quickly, connecting wires, adjusting frequencies. Malik helped her while Lyra pointed to parts of the system her parents had shown her years ago. Suddenly, the walls shook. Jones radioed in. "We've got company. Infected incoming." Ray's team had reached the generator room, but they weren't alone. The infected had found them. Dozens of them crawled from the walls and ceilings. Their glowing eyes filled the dark space. The battle began. Gunfire echoed through the halls. Ray fought fiercely, protecting Jones as he worked on restarting the generator. Zara tossed grenades, clearing space. They held the line. In the control room, the machine sparked to life. Dr. Lin smiled. "It's working. Just a few more seconds. But then something entered the room. A huge infected alien, larger than the others, stepped forward. It had wires coming out of its back, and part of its head was metal. It spoke with the parasite's voice. "You will not stop me. Malik stood, in front of Dr. Lin and Lyra. "You'll have to go through me first." The infected monster roared and charged. Everything went dark. The huge infected alien charged at Malik with a roar that shook the room. Malik didn't move. He stood firm, holding a heavy metal pipe like a weapon. The monster slammed into him, throwing him against the wall. Malik groaned but didn't fall. "Doctor." Lin grabbed a nearby tool and aimed it at the monster's metal wires. Sparks flew as she cut through them. The monster hissed in pain and swung its massive arms wildly. Zara and Lyra rushed in to help. Zara fired her gun, hitting the monster's glowing eyes, while Lyra threw a small electrical device that shocked the creature. Malik got up, breathing hard. "We can't keep this up forever," he said. "We need the signal ready now. Doctor." Lin nodded, her hands flying over the control panel. "Almost there, just a few more seconds." Outside, Ray and Jones kept fighting off the smaller infected. They were exhausted but refused to give up. Ray's voice was calm but firm over the radio. "Malik, hold on. We're powering up the generator now." Jones shouted. "We can't. Let them get past us." Suddenly the walls trembled. The parasite's voice echoed through the lab. "You cannot hide. You cannot win." "I am everywhere," Zara shouted. "Ignore it. Focus on the fight." Dr. Lin hit the final button. A strange humming filled the room. The machine began to pulse with energy. Blue and green lights danced across the walls. The parasite monster screamed and shook violently, trying to break free from the electric shock. "Now!" Dr. Lin shouted. She flipped the switch, and a powerful sound wave blasted through the room. It was strange, almost musical, but sharp and clear. The parasite monster screamed again, its body convulsing. The smaller infected froze. Their movement slowed, and then they collapsed motionless. "It's working!" Malik shouted, eyes wide. But the big monster didn't fall. It roared louder, its body glowing brighter. It threw Malik aside and charged toward the machine. Ray and Zara ran in just in time to block it. "Keep it away from the machine," Ray yelled. Jones fired grenade after grenade, but the monster was strong. It smashed the wall, creating a hole. Through the hole, they could see the city, dark, silent, and filled with danger. Lyra looked frightened. "If it breaks free, it will destroy everything." Ray gritted his teeth. "Not if we stop it here." Zara aimed carefully and fired at the monster's head. The creature faltered, but then swung a huge fist, knocking Zara to the ground. Ray ran to her, helping her up. "You okay?" "I'm fine," she said, coughing. "But we need to finish this," Dr. Lin shouted. "The signal will only last a few minutes. Use that time." The team fought harder than ever. Malik recovered and joined the battle again, hitting the monster with everything he had. The parasite screamed, its form flickering like a bad signal on a screen. Suddenly the monster collapsed, breaking apart into small pieces. The green light faded. The lab was silent. Everyone breathed heavily. The parasite was defeated, for now. Dr. Lin smiled tiredly. The signal worked. It stopped the infection. Ray looked at the others. "We saved the lab. But what about the rest of the city?" Lyra stepped forward. "There is hope. My parents left behind more plans. If we find them, we can stop this outbreak everywhere." Zara nodded. "Then we keep fighting." The team gathered their gear and prepared to leave the lab. Outside, the city was still dangerous, but the parasite's hold was weaker. Ray looked up at the dark sky. This fight is far from over. But humans will never give up. They moved out into the night, ready for whatever came next. The team moved quickly through the city's ruined streets. The infection was spreading slower now, thanks to the signal, but danger still lurked everywhere. Buildings were broken, fires burned in the distance, and the eerie silence made their hearts beat faster. Ray led the group, his eyes sharp, always watching for movement. Lyra stayed close, holding Malik's hand tightly. She was still scared, but brave. Zara and Jones followed, weapons ready. Dr. Lin studied the old map they had taken from the lab. It showed hidden places where Lyra's parents might have left. More clues and weapons to fight the parasite. "Our first stop is the old research station," Dr. Lin said. It's outside the city, but not far. As they moved, the parasite's voice returned, faint but clear. You think you won? But this is only the beginning. Suddenly, from the shadows, several infected appeared. They moved fast with broken limbs and angry eyes. The team fired quickly. The infected fell one by one, but more kept coming. Ray shouted, "Keep moving, don't let them surround us." The team ran toward the research station. The building was dark and covered with vines. The door was locked, but Lyra remembered a secret code her mother taught her. She pressed the buttons carefully and the door opened with a creak. Inside, the station was quiet but full of old machines and papers. Dust covered everything. Dr. Lin started searching through the files while the others kept watch. After a few minutes, Dr. Lin found a folder marked Antidote Project. She opened it and read quickly. This could stop the infection for good," she said excitedly. "It's a formula for a cure, but it needs special ingredients." Ray frowned. "Where do we find them?" Lyra pointed to the map. "There are 3 labs around the city. Each one has a different ingredient." "We split up?" Jones asked, surprised. "It's too dangerous alone," Zara said. "We should stay together." Ray nodded. "She's right. We'll find the labs one by one." The team planned their route. Their first target was a small lab near the river. It was in a dangerous part of the city, full of infected and traps. As they left the station, the parasite's voice whispered again, "You cannot hide from me. I will find you." The team didn't answer. They were focused on their mission. They had to find the ingredients and finish the cure. On the way, they found a group of survivors hiding in an underground shelter. The survivors were scared but hopeful when they saw the team. One man stepped forward. "We have food and medicine. We want to help." Lyra smiled. "We need all the help we can get." The survivors joined the group, carrying supplies and weapons. Together, they felt stronger. The journey to the river lab was tense. The infected attacked without warning. The team fought hard, protecting the survivors. When they reached the lab, the door was sealed tight. Malik used his tools to break the lock. Inside, the lab was cold and empty, except for a small container glowing faintly on a table. Dr. Lin grabbed it. "This is the first ingredient." Suddenly, the lights went out. The parasite's voice filled the room. "Give up. Your friends will become mine." The team prepared for the next battle. The room was dark, but the team's eyes adjusted quickly. The parasite's voice echoed around them, cold and cruel. The infected started to crawl from hidden corners, their glowing eyes fixed on the group. Ray raised his gun. "Stay together. Protect the ingredient." Zara covered the door, firing at the closest infected. Jones backed her up, throwing a grenade that exploded in a burst of fire and smoke. Malik helped Dr. Lin hold the container safely while Lyra encouraged the survivors to stay calm. The parasite's voice came again, softer this time. "You cannot stop the future. You will all become part of me." Ray's heart pounded, but he didn't let fear show. "We will never let you win." The infected pressed closer. The team fought with everything they had, pushing them back step by step. Dr. Lin worked on the container, preparing it for the next stage. Suddenly, a loud crash shook the lab. The huge infected monster from before burst through a wall, roaring like a wild beast. It was more terrifying than ever, its body glowing with dark energy. Ray shouted, "Focus on the monster." The team fired as one. The monster screamed in pain but kept coming. It reached for Malik, who barely dodged. Lyra saw her chance. She grabbed a syringe filled with the new antidote and ran toward the monster. "Lyra, no!" Ray yelled, but she was determined. She jumped and stabbed the syringe into the monster's arm. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the monster froze, its glowing eyes dimmed, and it collapsed. The infected around the room stopped moving too. The parasite's control was breaking. Dr. Lin smiled. "The antidote is working. We can stop the outbreak." Ray helped Lyra to her feet. "You saved us all." Outside, the sun began to rise over the city. The dark clouds started to clear. The survivors cheered quietly. hopeful for the first time in weeks. Lyra looked at her friends and the people around her. This is just the beginning, but we will fight. We will survive. Ray nodded. Humans always find a way. As the city slowly healed, the team knew their fight was not over. But together, they were stronger than any enemy, alien or parasite. The future was uncertain, but hope was alive, and humans would protect their world no matter what. The city was slowly waking up from the nightmare. Streets once filled with fear and danger now had quiet voices. People returning, helping each other, rebuilding what was lost. The parasite outbreak was over, thanks to the courage and quick thinking of Ray, Lyra, Dr. Lin, and the team. Ray stood on a hill overlooking the city. The sun was warm on his face. He thought about how humans had faced something no one else understood, and how they had survived when others failed. Lyra came beside him, holding a small device her parents had made. "This will help us watch for any new threats," she said. "We can be ready next time." Ray smiled. "We'll be ready, no matter what comes." Dr. Lin and Malik were working with scientists to produce the antidote for everyone. The survivors were sharing stories of bravery and hope. The team had become a symbol of strength. But even as peace returned, Ray knew the universe was a big place. There could be other dangers out there, other aliens, other outbreaks. Still, humans had shown something important: their spirit, their will to protect their home and each other. As the sky turned orange with sunset, Ray whispered, "We are not alone. We are never alone." The future was full of challenges, but also full of hope. And humans would always fight to protect their world, because that's what humans do.